Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a really exciting video for me anyway, and it is a full face first impressions of Primark makeup. I went to town, literally. It was so much fun. I think I spent about £84 in total on a full face of makeup, but I did buy a couple of different options for myself. So I didn't show it in the video, but I did actually buy two eyeshadow palettes. One was a glitter cream palette, which could be good for an exciting video, a couple of mascaras, 3 different foundations, and then all the rest in between. So I had lots of fun. I've had fun making this, and actually I'm so impressed with their makeup. Like, I would definitely dip into a lot of this makeup again and again and again. And if you are on a budget, then and you're looking for some pretty decent makeup, I would highly recommend getting yourself down to Primark, because there are some really good finds there. Even the makeup brushes are amazing quality. Like, they are sturdy, they don't have any bristles that fall out, the bristles are soft. So massive thumbs up for me for Primark Beauty, and this is the look that we are going to be creating today. So if you want to see me use a full face of Primark makeup, then please keep on watching. So first things first, I'm going to go in with a primer, and I've picked out this Prep and Perfect Hydrate Enriched Skin Primer, which, as you can see, only costs £3, and it says it contains vitamin B3 and vitamin E. Quite a creamy consistency. Smells quite fresh. It does have a scent to it. That is definitely living up to its name. It's definitely hydrating, and my skin just feels really smooth and quite moisturised actually. So yeah, first impression of the primer, I'm quite impressed. Quite like that one. And then I'm going to put some concealer over my eyelids, and I've chosen this liquid concealer medium coverage, my perfect colour. I've chosen the shade Porcelain, and this just cost £2. So it has this doe foot applicator, which I quite like. And it's quite large as well. It's quite long. It's not particularly massively wide, but it's not slim either. And then I am going to blend that out with one of the small beauty blenders, which came in a pack of 4. A pack of 4 for £2.50. So it had these 3, this one for £2.50. Okay, so that's definitely more light to medium coverage. Okay, so that's fine. I am going to set that now with this loose mineral powder. It says it's buildable coverage matte finish oil free. This was £2. I picked this up in the shade Ivory. The foundations that I've chosen are in the shade Nude Beige, but they didn't have the loose powder in the shade Nude Beige anywhere, so I just picked up shade Ivory because I thought that was going to be the best kind of fit for me. And I'm just going to tap some of this into the lid and take some on the same beauty blender and just tap it all over the eyes, just to set the concealer in place there. That's done a really good job of mattifying that concealer. then we're going to do the eyes, and I chose this really pretty palette. It's the Rose Quartz palette and it was £8, and these are the colours that you get with it. And it does come with this plastic sheet as well with all the different names of the shades on. And you actually get 20 shades in this palette for £8, which is pretty good. And obviously this is the Rose Quartz palette, so it's based on pink kind of shades. But it does also have some neutrals in there as well as some nice shimmers and some pink. So you've got your black, you've got your nice browns, you've got a transition shade, you've got a base shade. So it's a pretty good all-rounder palette, this one. So one thing that I didn't pick up from Primark was eyeshadow brushes, blending brushes. I really only picked up face brushes for some reason. I think it must have just slipped my mind, or I didn't see any that took my fancy. So I'm gonna take this blending brush by The Body Shop and I'm gonna go in with this shade here, which is called Sand Pink, and I'm going to use that as a transition shade. So I'm just going to put it all in my crease. And off the bat, it does have a little bit of a kickback, but in my experience that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a horrible eyeshadow. So for me, this shade is very much a skin tone shade, so you don't really notice it there, but it's being used as a transition shade anyway, so it's just going to help any other colours that we apply just blend a little bit more easy. Like I said, it does have a little bit of kickback, if you can see there. And then I'm going to go over that colour with the shade Blush Hour, which is just this shade here, which is quite a dusty pink colour. And this is just helping to create, hopefully, that nice gradient effect with the rest of the colours later on. A shade that they don't have in this palette that I would have liked would have been a deep pink matte. They do have kind of a deep pink, but it seems to have a little bit of a shimmer to it. But I kind of want to add it to my crease, so I'm not going to add shimmer to my crease, so we're going to have to find an alternative colour here. I totally didn't think, do you want me to swatch these colours for you? That might be good. So, okay, let's swatch the colours. Okay, so the colours from the pan straight onto the finger, they do feel quite smooth. And this is the top row of colours minus the shimmer on the end. And I'm holding it back because the light will wash it out, so. And that colour there is the end shade, which looks to me like a foil. These shades are from the second row. These ones are from the third row. And these shades are from the bottom row. So all in all, they are really, really pretty shades, and they all feel quite smooth, a little bit buttery, but they do have a little bit of a kickback, so take from that what you will. I mean, it is a palette of 20 shades for just £8 from Primark, so then I'm just gonna add a little bit of this warm brown shade to the crease, and this shade is called Rosewood. And I'm just going to use that same fluffy blending brush that I used before. And we're going to apply that in circular motions through the crease and about 1/3 of the way in. And these colours actually do blend out quite nicely too. And then we're just going to go over the top of that warm brown shade that we've just applied with this kind of really nice mid-pink shade. And that is called Flamingo. And then we're going to go in with this really, really pretty pink colour here, and this is called Peachy. And we're going to apply that all over the lid, up to the crease. Okay, as you can see, that colour is quite washed out. And there is a lot of fallout there as well. So we're just going to see how much we can intensify this by using some spray. So we're going to wet the brush. So I'm going to load the brush with colour and then spray with a spray. And see what difference it makes. That is a whole load of difference. I'm just going to sweep away this fallout because it is quite a lot of fallout. It does not sweep away easily. That has literally just turned my cheek to shimmer. I'm so glad I didn't put foundation on. Look at that, oh my gosh. Okay, so we're just gonna have to leave that until the end. And then I'm gonna go in with a mix of the Rosewood shade and Flamingo, just to blend this out a little bit. So it definitely loses its intensity once you start to blend it out. So I'm just going to take the rest of what's on that brush that we used and just layer some more of that colour on. And what you want to do is keep on blending and layering the colour, blending and layering the colour until you get the right look that you're going for. Wow, that fallout is on another level. So if you're going to use this palette and you're going to use the shimmer shades, do not do your foundation first. I need to wipe this fallout away because that is... Ugh. And I'm going to have to apply primer again because that would have wiped that away. So with what's left on the eyeshadow brush, I'm just going to run that underneath the eye. And then we're going to do the other side. And then I'm going to go in to the inner corners with this shade here, which is called Bronze Taupe. And it's this really nice gold shimmery colour just here. And I'm going to take that on quite a dense brush. I cannot wait to see what this shade here, this icy silver shade, looks like as a highlight, because I think that's going to be brilliant. Okay, I think it's time we moved on to the face. Now I picked up 3 different foundations. This My Perfect Colour Perfect Finish foundation, medium to full coverage natural finish, which was £2.50, the shade Nude Beige. I also picked up the Glow foundation, medium buildable coverage, radiant natural finish with SPF 30 for £6. And I also picked up this matte foundation, double coverage, long wear matte finish, oil free, SPF 15 for £5. And I've heard a lot of good things about this one. Apparently it's a dupe for the Estee Lauder double wear, which I personally have never tried. So I cannot comment whether it is or it isn't a dupe for the Estee Lauder double wear. But I think we're going to use this one today. And it comes with a twisty cap. There's no pump or anything, which is slightly annoying because you're going to get a lot of wastage with this, and it's not so sanitized. But if it's just for personal use, then it's fine. So I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand, and I'm going to do half my face with a beauty blender from Primark and half my face with a foundation brush from Primark, just to see the difference in application. So it's quite runny, but not too runny. So I'm just going to apply some with a beauty blender to this side of my face. And that's a pretty perfect match as well, shade wise. Okay. Oh my god. I am impressed. Like, look at the coverage that gives. And actually, I don't know if it's because of the hydrating primer that we've used, or if it's just the finish of the foundation, but it says matte, but it's kind of given me a really nice glow. I think that might be something to do with the primer that we used. So we're gonna go to the other side with a brush. Definitely more coverage when you use a beauty blender rather than using a sponge. And if you have oily skin, I mean, it's probably going to be a given anyway, but if you've got oily skin, I don't think you're going to want to use this because it is very, very hydrating. And this brush itself as well is pretty good quality. This brush cost, so I can't figure out what this is on my receipt, but this brush honestly didn't cost any more than £5, and it is pretty good quality. It's got the kind of the dip in the middle there, and then it's got the really nice pink detailing, quite a sturdy handle. The handle's not too thick, it's not too thin, and I really like the finish it gives, so I really like this brush. So then we're going to go in with concealer for under the eyes, and I'm going to use the same concealer that I used earlier, the liquid concealer, which was £2 in the shade Porcelain. Now this is described as a medium coverage concealer, but I would say, based on the performance on the eyelids, I would say it's more light to medium because it is quite liquidy. And then I'm just going to blend that in with the small blending beauty blender that we have. I think I actually could have done with going up a shade in concealer. As you can see, this is quite light. So then I'm just going to set the under eyes with the same loose mineral powder as earlier. And then what I'm going to do, yes? And then what I'm going to do is run some of that powder just to here and here to help me blend out any contour that I'm going to do in a moment. And then we're going to go in with some contouring. And for contour, they have this foundation and contour stick. I picked up the shade Rich Espresso, and I just don't know if this is going to be a little bit too dark for my contour. But what happened? Let me tell you what happened. So it was after work that we went to Primark, and they shut at 8, the Primark in Charlton, and it was about 10 to 8, and I was trying to just kind of put it all together and wrap it up, and then they were like, come and pay for your stuff, you know, over the tunnel. They were like, this store closes in 10 minutes. So I kind of just saw a really nice dark shade, the word contour, and that was the deciding factor for me. So I'm gonna try my best to make this work, but it might be a little bit too dark. Why are you meowing at me? And I believe that this was also about $2.50, but again, I can't make out what the coding is on this receipt. And I also bought this as well. This was the Sculpt and Glow brush, which I do know what this is on the receipt because I've come across it a lot. The Dual End Sculpt and Glow, £2.50. So obviously you contour and highlight with it. So that's actually not too bad. And this brush is the perfect density for cream contouring. And I kind of just pinched the brush there to just contour the nose with. I don't usually contour my nose, but today I just felt like, why not? Oh, I've gone too far over the bridge of the nose and it's accentuating the dip in my nose. Then I'm going to take a big fluffy brush, also from Primark, and this was £4. And I'm just going to blend away any powder that's left on my face. We are going to do brows next, and I bought a couple of brow products actually. I bought this Brow Define Brow Gel in the shade Brown, but it's more like the blonde shade that you usually get, and it was £1, and it is just one of these small but thick ones like this. I'm a bit worried about how thick that is, but we'll see what it does. And I also bought this as well, the brow pencil, so that's also got a spoolie on the end and your pencil, and this is in the shade Blonde, I believe. and this cost £1 as well. And then I am going to use the pencil just to define them a little bit and fill any bits in. It's really soft. And then we're going to set them in place with the Brow Define. I really like that brow combo. Okay, so then we're going to finish the eyes completely, and for the waterline I'm going to use this Kohl eye pencil in the shade Wide Awake, and that was £1. And here comes the gamble, okay, because when I do winged liner it's pretty hit and miss, but they didn't have any black eyeliner pencils, so I've had to go for a liquid pen. So this is what the tip is like, and this was £1.50. Really, really good colour there. So fingers crossed. Okay, it didn't go as wrong as I thought it was going to go, so that is good, brilliant. I'm going to apply some blush, and this is in the shade Drama, and it's £1.50. I didn't buy a blush brush, so I'm just going to use a regular blush brush that I have. That is really pigmented, wow. Let's blend some of that out. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of bronzer, and I picked up the Bronze Glow Matte Bronzing Powder in the shade Sunset, and that was only £2. And I'm just going to apply that to kind of the backs of the contours, so I'm going to use the Sculpt and Glow brush. What I'm finding with these Primark products is that they are cheap, but they are cheerful. They are cheap and cheerful. They are pigmented, perform well. The eyeliner is nice and creamy. The foundation's got a great coverage. The powder does what it says it will do. So far, I don't have any major complaints about Primark makeup. So that's the bronzer. And then I'm going to apply some highlight, and I picked up this Opal Highlight and Glow palette. It was a £5, and it's got these shades in. I think the shade we're going to go for, let me swatch them for you first. So this is Glow All Out. This is Game Changer. This one is Spotlight, and we've also got Blinding, which always reminds me of Jeffree Star. So I think for today's look we're going to use Glow All Out, which is the first one here. Wow. And then we're going to finish the eyes with a mascara. I did buy two mascaras. I bought the False Affair mascara for £2.50 and the 3D Lash Effect mascara, which I believe was £2. The False Affair wand is plastic, and Looks a little bit like a torture weapon. And this one is also plastic, but it's kind of thin and tapers out. So I don't know what one to. I think I'm going to go for the Falsy Fair. Let's see what happens. This one is quite flexible, whereas the other one seems quite stiff. Not massively impressed with the mascara, I have to say. It separates the lashes really well, but it doesn't add much length or volume. Let's try the other mascara on the other eye and see if there's any difference. Okay, not much is happening on the mascara front, to be fair. We're going to do a couple of coats of mascara just to see how they build, but while that first layer is drying a little bit, let's line the lips. I've picked up this lip liner pencil in the shade Toast, which I've heard is amazing. So let's go in with this. Nice and creamy, glides on really well. And then for some lip products, I picked up a few. So I picked up this lip souffle in the shade Devoted, which was only £2, which is this really nice brown colour. So perfect nude. I've also got a couple of other ones. So I've got a matte lipstick in the shade Naked Flame, which is like a pinky nude, pinky peachy nude, which I really like that colour actually. And then we've also picked up the Luster in the shade, I think this matches the liner, in the shade Toast. And this is a Luster. So applying it onto my hand, it took a few swipes, so it's quite sheer, but it's a really nice nude colour. I think what I'm going to do is go over that lip liner in the shade Toast. Why not? Match them. Okay, I'm just going to take this off. And then I'm just going to apply this matte shade in the shade Naked Flame. Can't decide. Okay, I think we're just going to go over it with the Luster Teddy. I really like the smell of these lipsticks. They're quite, they have quite a nice vanilla scent to them. Okay, and then going back in with the mascaras, let's see what they do. So this is the Falsy Fair on this side. Okay, they are buildable, but they still don't do much. And then this is the 3D Lash Effect on the other side. You know, there's something there, but it just doesn't do a lot. Alright, so overall I am pretty bloody impressed. The only thing I'm not impressed with are the mascaras, because as you can see, they really don't do too much. I absolutely love the foundation. Brilliant finish, amazing coverage. I'm not too struck on the lipsticks. I think that might be the shades though, because I don't know if these shades are particularly my shades. But consistency wise, scent wise, packaging wise, I mean, they are £1.50. I think even one was 90p. So 90p for a lipstick, you know, it's pretty amazing. I'm a massive fan of the contour stick. Didn't think I would be, but I am. The Opal Highlight and Glow palette is amazing. I used this shade here, and I think it's perfect with this look. The eyeshadows, they have their pros and cons, but for £8 and 20 shades, I mean, girls, if you're on a budget and you are looking for some pretty decent makeup, I would get yourselves down to Primark, because all in all I spent £84 on a full face, and I bought 3 foundations, 3 different lip shades, brushes, a whole eye palette, primer, the works. So if you are on a budget, I would highly recommend getting yourself down to Primark and indulging in their beauty products, because they are great. I also did buy some lashes, but I'm not used to lashes. I can't remember the last time I put a fake lash on my eyes, just because I don't know if I can do them. I don't know if they sit right. So I might do a video where you can just laugh at me trying lashes on. I don't know, maybe. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and comment if you enjoyed the video as well, so that I know to keep on making these videos for you. Until then, I will see you in my next video.